So welcome to VHS the PLM Degree College. So in this session, I am going to talk about the programming in C, which is belongs to the second BS, second become computer applications. Okay, second become computer applications. In the fourth semester, there is a paper is named as a programming in C here. Okay, so in previous class, I was talked about the functions and introduction to functions and syntax of the function, how to declare the function here. And today I'm going to talk about the function and the types. Okay, types of the functions here. Okay, so in generally, according to the C program terminologies, so program functions can be defined into two types. First one is the built-in functions. Second one is the user-defined functions. Okay, so these two types are we are using the functions here. Okay, so first one is called as a built-in functions. It is also called as a predefined functions, or also called as a fundamental functions, are also called as a standard library functions. Okay, so let us see. So we have the two types of the functions are available here, and what is the purpose of function here? I'm discussing in the previous class, and I'm giving the one more definition today. A function is a self-contained block of statements. That means each and every statement having its own block of statements. It is executing whenever we call that function here. Okay. So function is a self-contained block of statements. It is executed whenever we call that functions. Okay. That means so here the function will be going to execute the number of times. The number of times are going to executing here while we are using the functions concept here. Okay, the function is a very useful term while we are creating any functions. Okay, without function we should not write any programming in the C programming language. Okay? Because of the mainly the function can be defined upon the only in the functions only. Okay, so each and every programming must contain the main function. So that's why the main is one of the function, and it is also behave like the heart of the program here because of the every programming language is executed from the main method, and C language it is the program execution from main to and remaining the remaining comments here. Okay, that means so it going to it design it executing design is from top to bottom approach only. Because of the in the top side we have to place the main function. That's why programming or every programming in C is executed from the main to and bottom here. Okay, because of the main function can be defined at the top of the program, and the code will be the written bottom of the program here. So that's why program is executed from main method to lower cases bottom here, because of the code is always is placed below the main function. Okay, so what is the main function, what is the function here, what is the purpose of the function here, I was discussing in the previous class, and one more I'm going to talk about the advantage of the function here. Because of the function we can save the memory space here. We can save the memory space here. How we can save the memory space here? Because of the main term which is called as a code reusability. What is that? Code reusability. So what is code reusability? Okay, code reusability. Code reusability means what here? Write once code and reuse anywhere in the program here. So that is we called as a code reusability. Once you have to write the code, same code if you want to write again, you need to just call that functions. That just call that function, and the function will be going to execute here. Okay, we have to call the if you want to call the functions in the n number of times, and the function will also calling the number of times of the calling the function here. Okay, a function will be calling the number of times based on the programmer convenience here. Okay, so by using the code reusability, the program will automatically decrease it here. So while we're using the code reusability, we can save the memory space here. Okay, whenever the memory is decreased, automatically program length is also decreased. Okay, whenever the program length is decreased, automatically time execution time is also decreased. Okay, program performance is very high. Program performance is very high, and the program executing efficiently and effectively manner. Program execution is efficiently and effectively manner. So that's why a program is executing very faster while we're using in the functions concept here. Okay, so let us see we have two types of the functions are available here. So let us see how many types of the functions are available in this session. We have to see types of the functions. In general, functions can be defined into two types. First one is the uh, predefined functions, are also called as a built-in functions, are also called as a standard library functions. Okay, and second one is called as a user-defined functions. And second one is called as a user-defined functions. And what is user-defined functions and what is predefined functions? I will explain. Let me explain. The first one is called as a predefined predefined functions. Predefined or built-in functions or built-in functions or standard library. Standard library standard library functions. And second one is called as a second one is called as a user-defined function. Okay, so these are called as a function types. Okay, the first one is called as a predefined or also called as a built-in functions. Okay, or also called as a standard library functions. So these functions are already predefined by the creating of the C language here. Okay, so user-defined functions. So user-defined functions can be defined by the user as his convenience. Okay, the programmer can be using the functions and declare these functions as his convenience here. Okay, so let us see what is the predefined functions or what is the built-in functions or what is the standard library functions here. Okay, so we have to see there is a standard library functions are also available here. That is called as a printf function, scanf function, scanf functions, or main functions, or str scan function, str reverse function, similar str, and so many functions are available here. Okay, so these functions are already in the these functions are already predefined while we are using the C programming languages. Okay, so these all files are created in the header files, that is we call as the action SQL. So all these functions are called as a predefined functions. Okay, these functions are already predefined in the stdio.h. Stdio.h means what here? Standard input output files here. Okay, and .h means header files here. Okay, that means all input and output functions can be defined in the hash include stdio.h. Means standard input output dot header files here. Okay, so these are that means when we are using the any predefined function, we have to include the header file. The main header file is called as a hash include stdio.h. In this session, all the input and output, all the input and output functions can be already predefined in the library functions. Okay, so we have to use these functions directly. Don't create the any extra amount here. Okay, so that's why we are using the only these called as the predefined functions. The predefined functions are very useful while using the program here, and no need to create these functions because of the already we are creating these functions. That's why no need to create the any extra time here. Okay, so no need to create this functions because of the we already define these functions in the C programming languages. So no need to go to create this predefined functions. So hence it is called as a built-in function because of the built-in functions are already predefined in the C programming languages. Okay, so it is included by using the hash into the std.h. Okay, so this is called as a predefined function. This is we called as built-in functions or also called as a standard library functions. Okay, so printf scanner, main star cat, star argument, CRSA, and string comparison, and while, do, and these all functions are predefined in the C programming language. We are using directly. So to use this standard library functions here. And the second topic is called as a user defined functions. What is user defined functions? Okay, so user defined functions can be defined by the user here. Okay, user who is user here? User is ourselves. Who is the programmer is called as the user here. So in this session we are using the functions as is directly. Okay, so how to declare the predefined user defined functions here. Okay, so when we are using the any functions, when we are declaring any function, you need to follow the yesterday I was talking about the syntax. Same syntax you have to follow the same syntax here. Okay, that syntax is in the form of the type, space, and function name, and in this braces you have to see parameters. Parameters, you can replace statements here and close the statements here. Okay, so this is called as a declaration of the function while using the user defined functions here. While using the user defined functions here. Okay, if you want to declare any function, you need to follow the syntax only. You need to follow the syntax only. Okay, first we have to tell us about the its return type and function name here and the parameters here. Okay, so return type we have to use the return types like all the types of the data types like integer, float, or char, and also we are using the extra data type, extra return type that is called as void also we are using here. So void is also one of the return types here. Okay, that means void. Okay, what is the purpose of void here? Okay, void is one of the return type. Void is one of the return type. It should not return any value. It should not return any value. On that situation, we have to use the void return type. Okay, if the function is going to return the integer values, we have to specify the return type is is integer here. Okay, so the function can return the integer values. You have to specify the return type is called as a integer here. That means int here. Okay, so if you are not specifying any data, you need to use it as a void here. So void means what here? If there are no values are written here, then we have to use the void is the one of the return type here. So while we are using the void return type, the program does not return the any values in the C program here. Okay, so this is we call as the user defined functions. Okay, and a function name can be declared as the it is also function name is also known as the identifier. Okay, what is it? Identifier is also one of the function name here. So function name should not be a keywords. Function name should not be a keywords. Okay, that means so we have 32 keywords are available in the C programming language. These 32 keywords are not used in this program here because of the its rules. Okay, while you're using the identifiers. Okay, identifiers is what here the function name or variable name is called as a identifier here. Okay, so and the function is always starts from the alphabets, and it should not accept any special characters like dollar, single quotes, double quotes, hash, and such symbols are not accepted here, but it can accept only one symbol, that is called underscore symbol is accepted by here only itself. Okay, and rather than the remaining symbols are not accepted while you are using the function name here. Okay, so parameters, if you want to pass any parameters, you need to type the parameters here. If you are not going to written any parameters here, you are not specifying the any parameters here. Okay, so this is called as a user defined types, user defined functions. Okay, user defined functions. The user defined functions can be defined by the user or programmer as his convenience. Okay, and the user, the programmer is going to declare any function. He need to follow the this syntax. That means you have to specify the type and function name and parameters and open curly braces and close curly braces. In this session, we are going to the place the these written types here. Okay, so this is we called as a user defined functions, and this is we called as a predefined functions here. Okay, these are called as a predefined function. These called as a user defined functions. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the functions, and the main clearly we are using the four types of the functions are used in the C program here. Okay, you have to copy this syntax, and you have to copy this lines here. Okay, so copy that. So now I'm going to uh, I'm going to talk about the functions and its types here. Okay, see here, I'm going to talk about the main four types of functions are already used here. So that is we see here. Okay, so in the same in yesterday I was talking about the four types of the functions are available here. So that is we call as a with written type, with arguments, and with written type, no arguments, and no arguments, no written types, and with written type and no arguments. We have the functions here, and today I am giving the brief description about these four types of the functions here. Okay, so the first one is called as a I am declaring like this. So in this session I am declaring the four types of the functions here, and here the first one and second one and third one and fourth one here. Okay, so let us see what is the difference between these four types of the data types. Okay, let us see. The first one is called as a no written type. No written type and no arguments. No arguments is the one of the function. And second one is called as a no written type, no written type, and with arguments. With arguments. Okay. So and the third one is called as a and third one is called as a with the written type, with the written type and no arguments. And the fourth one is called as with the written type and with arguments here. So in this session there is a four types of the functions are available here. So named as a no written type, no arguments, no written type, with arguments, with the written type, no arguments, and with the written type and with arguments here. Okay. So let us see. These are the functions of the user defined functions, and we have to use these curly braces, and I'm declaring these functions. So I'm giving also examples also here. I'm giving the example no written type and no arguments. Okay, in this session no written type is also available here. No written type is also available here. This type is also no written type, but arguments are available here. In this session, I am giving the example here. So here there is a written type and there is a no arguments. And in session, we have to see all the inputs and outputs. Sorry, all the written type and arguments also. Here we can specify here. Okay. So let us see how it is declared here. I'm giving the example now. I'm going to give the example here. So no written type, that means function names should be as is convenience. For example, I'm giving the function name here. In this session, I'm not declaring any no arguments, no written type. We have to use the function and we have to close the functions. Okay, close these functions. Okay, so in this scenario, this is the function name. I am using the f1. Okay, fun is one of the function name here. Okay, so this function should not be having any written type here. Okay, and it is also no arguments here. Okay, so void is the one of the written type. It should not take it should not return any value. Okay, so while we are using the no written types, we have to use the this function here. Okay, so here there is no written type we are using here. That's why we simply use as a void here. Okay, so void is nothing to return any value. So hence we are going to use this void function. Void function means it should not return any values here. Okay, and here there is no parameters also available here. And coming to this section, no written type but with arguments. Okay, no written type, that means the function one here. And in this session, we have to declare some function variable here. And in this session, we have to use this and open this curly braces and close and close this. Okay, so we having the written type arguments but no written type. Okay, that means no written type. Okay, if you are going to teach about the no written type, we have to use the void also. We have to place it here because of the void is one of the written type. It should not return any value here. So that's why it should not return. That means no written type also available here. Hence we are going to place the void data type here. Okay, void means no written type. So that's why we are using here. Okay, so this is the no written type and with arguments the function will be going to declare like this in this section. Okay, third one is called as a with written type and no arguments. Okay, with written types and no arguments. For example, I am giving the written type. It is the function name can be function and should not return any values here. Should not return any values here. And we are using like this. I'm going to close this braces here. Okay, to close this braces here. So here we can declare we can return the integer values here. Okay, that's why here I am going to return 7. Okay, this is integer value, so that's why we can return the integer values here. Okay, so this is the with written type. That means written type is also available here, no argument, but here there is no arguments to specified here. And the fourth one is called as with written type. That means with written type and with arguments. In this session, we have to declare some different variables like this. So int, and it is one of the written type, and we are using the function one. And here I am declaring the variable a here, variable a here. Close this, open the labels, and close this, and return 77. Close it here. Okay. So in this session, we are declaring the integer as a written type. Written type is also as a integer and carries the with arguments here. Okay, so but here we can return the 77 here. So 77 is the integer number. That's why we can return the integer values here. But here we can take the character value here. We can take the character value here and giving the return the only integer values here. Okay, is it possible here? Yes, it is possible because of the if we are taking the any there is no instructions to creating the return type and arguments should not be same here because of the if you are going to execute the any program. So while you are using the C program or to withdraw amount, in the ATM, we have to enter the numbers and we have to collect the money is also available here. Okay, you are entering the, that means you are giving the input values and you are getting the money here. That means so character also available here. Okay, so if you want to deposit the money, you need to giving the input as the money is the character, we are getting the numbers also. So that's why in this scenario we have to use this getting type and use this arguments. We have to specify these types. Okay, so these four are the functions types while using the user defined functions. Okay, this is called as a function and sorry, user defined function types, and we have to use this functions, these all type of functions. Okay, if you are using any function, that function should be either this type, this type, this type, this type. Okay, so not for the remaining rest of the functions here. Okay, so this is we call as a functions and its types here. Okay, so we have to copy this all the syntax here, and tomorrow I will talk about the what is calling function, what is calling function. Okay, thanks for watching this class here.